Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're doing the version 4 of the budget round trip rebel build. This time we're going to be focusing on the King Schmidt set. Last time we showed the gray set, which, to be fair, the damage was pretty good, but I feel it's time to take things up a notch. We are still using the same core elements like the Lust Crusher and the Circlet of Time and the Demon's Familiar. Speaking of Circlet of Time, we are still running it. Obviously, attack plus 15 per 2 refines. Attack speed obviously doesn't really matter. Round trip damage plus 20% per 3 refines. Long range damage plus 5% per 4 refines. And obviously at plus 11, we're not going to talk about it because the circlet is at plus 7. We just need the 20% round trip damage per 3 refines and 5% LRD per 4 refines. Moving on to the enchants, we have Int, we have Dex 2, Temporal Jewel. Still can't confirm if this is long range damage. Hit plus 5 per 2 refines, attack plus 2% per 5 refines of the headgear. Now, moving on to the King Schmidt's armor, it's indestructible. You get 10% more damage from medium and large. At plus 7, you get 10% more damage for fire and shadow monsters. Plus 9, you get 15% less damage from formless and demon. Plus 11, you get 10% less damage from medium and large monsters. Now it's comboed with the King Schmidt's Matthew. HP, SP plus 5%. When it's basically plus 11 plus 22 in total, that's 15% ACD reduction. We have some stat enchants, Agi luck, well 2 luck enchants, and obviously the Porcello card for additional 25 attack, just a good generic card for the physical class. Next we have the King Schmidt's Matthew, 2% more damage from fire and shadow every 3 refines. Plus 7, you get 5% less damage from dragon and formless, and plus 11, you get 15% more damage to dragon and formless monsters. We have the EA3, EA5, and EA3 enchants here. Got lucky to get all expert archer enchants, and obviously the Men Black card for additional 1% long range damage per 10 base dex. At 130 dex, that's 13%, which is pretty good, especially for this build. Next, we have the King Schmidt's Insignia dex for the additional 7% long range damage, and once you have the Matthew and the suit applied, it's attack speed plus 1, additional 3% long range damage. And what's important is the enchants. We have Strength 3, Fighting Spirit 7, and Celestial Bow, which is a combo with Hawkeye for the additional 10% attack. And obviously the Gold Scarab card, just a good generic accessory card for the physical class. Now we are running the modified dex boots here just because this is an expanded class. Obviously we don't need the FCT reduction, but that 5% long range damage is still pretty good. Now we have EA4 for additional 8% long range damage, and obviously Hawkeye for the proc, additional dex, just to get an additional 10% attack as well from the Celestial Bow. And obviously the Illusion Booster R, attack plus 5%. We got Fatal, attack speed, and obviously Expert Archer 5 for additional 10% long range damage. And again, the Gold Scarab card for, additional 20 attack. And, well, the weapon, obviously you guys already know. It's plus 11, but you probably just need it to be plus 7 just to get the 10%. I'm sorry, the 10% round trip damage. We're not really looking at the fire rain stuff. Obviously at plus 9 you get minus 2 seconds fire rain cooldown. At plus 11 you get 25% fire range damage, but that's the only time that the round trip damage actually triggers, so there's no point. So plus 7 is really just fine. We have attack plus 4% and 2 Archer Skeleton cards here for additional 10% long range damage, so that's up to 20%. But since we are running a Sin weapon, we might as well run the Demon's Familiar for all stats plus 10. And obviously because we're running the Lust Crusher, we get additional 200 attack and 200 M attack, which is pretty good. It's with the price as well. So yeah, let's do a little bit of a damage test just so that we can compare the damage from this build over from the last 3. I think it might be at the same level as the gray set, so it'll be interesting to see. Alright, here we are, the eggs. First, the armor piercing bullet for neutral damage. So we're doing about 206 to about 220,000 damage. Not bad. Next, the fire egg with the freezing bullet. So we're doing about 320 to about 340. That's actually pretty good considering everything else. Okay, that was quite interesting. It actually does do a bit of damage, but at the same time, the damage from the gray set is actually a lot better. I think it's really just because round trip, the gray set actually focuses more of its damage on round trip rather than trying to get the other bonuses like long range damage or, you know, everything else. But ideally, it is pretty good. The King Schmidt set is really effective, but yeah, I think for the expanded class especially, it's actually a lot better to run something very specialized in the sense, just because, you know, you actually get more damage for it. At the same time, it's more bang for your buck, because the gray set, obviously, it's a lot easier to get compared to the King Schmidt stuff, which for me took months and months of farming and to be fair, gambling. Really fair bit of gambling. But yeah, everything else you see here is stuff that you can craft or stuff that you can pick up, except from the Demon's Familiar. Hopefully this gives you some idea, but for me, I would still go with gray set. So version 3 still trumps everything. Yeah, it's crazy how to contrast this for something more specialized rather than something that's a little bit more general. And before this video ends, I just want to give a shout out to this guy, Boruto Shippuden, who I met over in Juno. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, shout out to this guy, man. He's a really nice guy to speak with. He's also Filipino. We didn't realize until later in the conversation when I asked, "Oh, where are you from?" And turns out he's also Filipino like me. So yeah, shout out to Boruto Shippuden. Or Shippuden, but yeah, it's yeah, he's from Thor, and he just started. So if you see him around, you know, be nice, you know, give him some stuff, because yeah, it's hard moving from another server, Thor, to Chaos, just because all your stuff is invested over there. I wish we did have a merge, but at the same time, you know, it's we've been asking it for years, and still War Portal hasn't really given it to us. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time.